brain. Welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk. Come be at peace with me. Ask the Paul, where we rise and don't fall.
Welcome back to another episode of Baxter's Buzz. I am your host, Baxter E. Hall. Welcome to my brain. Welcome to my frequency. Enter at your own risk. Now, today I have a special guest. We've been trying to figure this thing out for a while. I'm happy that he's here. He's an employment and business attorney and also a partner at Dinsmore and Shohl. He's also the president of the Society of HR Managers, the state of Michigan. So all 17 chapters. He is the head guy, a friend, and I'm excited for everyone to learn more about him. Mr. James Reid, welcome to Baxter's Buzz, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me. I've been envious not being on before, so I feel like I've made it now.
Well, congratulations. It's all due time. And I appreciate you making time because I know how busy you are. As it relates to sort of Father's Day, I thought it would be a good conversation for us to have around just, your responsibility, or the responsibility that you feel as a dad, as a working dad. We talked about how busy we both are and moving around and doing all these things. Like when you think about your responsibility as a father and sort of balancing these things, like, how do you handle it all? How do you make sure that you're giving everyone sort of what they need?
I love the question, and I'm learning every day, but what has been working great for me is not working remotely. I feel that I like to go all in and give all my attention to my kids when it's daddy son time or daddy daughter time. And they can tell if I'm on the phone or distracted or not hearing that story that they're sharing. And so I give them my all. And when I'm at home, I don't want them to have to pretend I'm not there. I like it when they get excited and want to interact and play. So I always go to work at work. And then when I come home, it's like all in fun time. We're playing kickball. We're throwing the ball around. We're playing all these games, and it's like the excited puppy waiting to see you when you make it that fun.
Wow. That's amazing. I don't know if I can do it because I am at home so much for work. And but I like the thought of sort of separating those things. I really try to keep my hours and try to unplug, but I'm not always successful when I'm working at home, especially if I've been here all day, kind of knocking out some administrative things. And it's like, they come home and it's like, wait, I'm not ready to kind of like change lanes, right?
The other challenge I have is my kids are like so professional, or these rules at school. And when they come home, I feel like it's not fair to them to have all these additional rules that are like school environment still. So I try to let them be more their natural selves. I don't want to have them be like sometimes those, fake students that are, behaving so long as the teacher's there and they really want to, be themselves a different way.
So how do you do that? What do you encourage just them? Like my kids are crazy in a good way, like energy, jokes, random dancing, stories like you mentioned. Like, how do you encourage them how do you ensure that they feel like they can be themselves at home?
So they would love, if I was doing the Zoom meeting at home, they would love to pop their head in and say hi, or, give me bunny ears, or do something to try to embarrass me, or take a funny picture of me, or put some background on this Zoom account that would be something hilarious. And so instead of getting frustrated with any of that behavior in the professional setting, I just welcome that conduct at home and roll with the punches and roll with the jokes and fun, and just make sure for my real serious, attorney-client privilege communication about, some serious situation, I can't have those distractions from my clients. Not fair to them. So I just don't have those calls at home.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Before we sort of went on air, we were talking about the week, and you were saying both kids are sort of completing their current years in school, and field day. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Go on, talk about that.
Yeah. So like my son is so excited for field day today, and they're going to have an ice cream party, social and celebration. And, they're both doing the countdown because tomorrow's a half a day. And to them, graduating second grade and graduating sixth grade is like a huge deal for them. And so I am going to be gone at a partner retreat in Kentucky tomorrow morning. So I'm going to miss their half day, celebration party at the end of the year. So instead, we had an event where I did about 6 hours of just daddy son time, where we celebrated on Sunday, as if, if we were like celebrating his graduation and giving him 100% of my attention. And then separately, I had daddy daughter, where so for my son, I took him to Walmart to buy a Ryan toy. And then I came home and I played with him, and I went swimming with him, just me and him. And then with my daughter, I took her to get her nails done and waited and went to the grocery store a couple of times, not knowing how long it takes to give her that experience. And then she's like, can we continue this, Dad? Can we have, daddy, daughter go out to dinner? Just the two of us, because whenever my son comes, he eats super quick and wants to go play, and she wants to do it slow and, have the conversations. Something like that'd be great idea. So we went out to a Mexican restaurant, took some pictures, had a 3-course meal. And then she's like, Dad, this was so fun. I never get to do this and do what I want. Can we continue this and go see a movie? And I'm like, yeah, this is a rare opportunity that she still wants to hang out with her dad. So I'm in. And we ended up going to a movie, and, we were out until almost 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. And it was just a great way. Even though I often play with both together, I think it's also smart to have that one-on-one time.
Yeah. My oldest is my daughter, and, they're 3 years apart, but it felt like it was so much easier to just, when you have one, to just kind of give them that time, right? And then it's like, oh, well, now y'all got each other. Y'all don't need me and my, but they do. They want that time. And it's important to sort of give them their own time, because the dynamic is different, right?
It is. And I think there was that age, like when they're also 3 years apart. And so like from like 3 to 6, 4 to 7, 5 to 8, 6 to 9, that kind of worked. They played a lot of games together and did a lot of stuff together. But now that my daughter's in this tween stage where, I think she's more has her own hobbies and her own shows, and my son has his own hobbies and his own shows, and they're not quite on the same page. So dividing and conquering is becoming more realistic.
So I need to know why you didn't get in the chair and get your nails done while your daughter was getting her nails done.
That is a great question. So I had someone else ask me that when I shared the story, and I have no response. I honestly, if she would have asked me to do it, I would have done it in a heartbeat. And I didn't even think that was something that, I could do for myself. And I've actually never done that before. So I almost need someone to encourage me to do it.
Yeah. No, I'm giving you a hard time. I have not done it. I've painted my daughter's nails, but I'm gonna steal a page out of your book. I'm gonna take her to go get her nails done, and I'm gonna sit in and maybe get a little pampering from myself too.
That's that. And in hindsight, that would have been the best move, because I could have been side by side with her and used that time to bond even more.
A little extra chit chat, and you'd be surprised the small things that are important to them that we just maybe sort of take for granted, right?
Yes, but because I separate the work-life balance, I feel both are super excited to see me. So I almost feel like I have to give them all that energy. Like the bar is set there now where I don't want to lose it. So I put in the effort.
Yeah, no, I think we can all kind of aspire to kind of have that separation that you have. I went to a conference years and years ago, and it was one person that was speaking. It was a woman. She was talking about working moms, and the theme, I'll never forget. It was like, love the one you're with, right? What was the theme? It's like, when you're at home, be at home. When you are at work, be at work, and don't have those regrets or like feeling guilty that you're not, just be present in the space that you're in. This is obviously years before this remote and hybrid sort of work environments. Do you have to put things in your calendar in order to make sure that they like get done, or that you like, how do you prioritize that time?
I do live by my calendar, and I'm lucky where I use my assistant to organize my personal and professional calendar, because you can't have a different calendar and go back and forth and really track everything. So everything, if it's not on my calendar, it's hard to be present for that event unless it's outside of, expected work hours. Then sometimes I just block off calendar time and I can give it my all. But I learned at an early age through sports that there were times where, you lose that tennis match or that basketball game, and you reflect and say, did that other team try 1% harder than me? And I think you learn over time that if you apply yourself at like 100% effort, you can achieve things you didn't know you were capable of, or it makes a difference at a high level. That extra effort is the difference. That's part of the reason why home teams often do better in sports than the away teams. They're trying a little harder for that crowd, or they have that expectation to fulfill. And so learning from that, try to go 100% all in whatever I do.
Yeah. Well, I can attest to that just from our relationship. You're definitely all in, and you're the SHRM piece of it, right? It's we talked about 17 different chapters inside of the state, and you really do a good job of being present and making sure that you're providing the proper support. Talk about your position as president of Michigan Sherman. Like, again, not your children, but the chapters want a certain amount of of your time as well, right? How do you balance that piece of it?
I would say that there are some similarities there that you're alluding to, because all of these roles are volunteer roles, all fully unpaid. And
or they're taking money. They're taking more money than
right. And you're essentially working to try to, get donations and get more membership and help with events. And it's a lot of tedious, kind of underappreciated service. And I think that what I try to do is bring a fun element to it, where I try to have fun and not just go through like the monotone voice, try to tell a joke here or there, or, tell a story or ask other people to share a story. So I try to focus on relationships, because relationships, make a huge difference. And if you can, talk to them beyond just the work they're doing, like, hey, tell me 2 things I don't know about you, or 2 truths and a lie, or, tell me, your favorite thing to cook or eat or hobby. I end up learning and connect with them in a way where it doesn't seem like work. You actually look forward to having fun. So like, there's some former directors that are going to National SHRM next week, just because they miss the people and want to have fun with those colleagues that they interacted with in the past.
Yeah. There's this, we're still sort of dealing with COVID and trying to maneuver. People are coming back outside, now people are going back inside. But that camaraderie, it's hard to replace it even in a Zoom setting, right? It's nice to see people. We've gone to a number of things where we've been together at different. So just shout out to Michigan SHRM, all the chapters, that are trying to keep people engaged and connected, providing those resources. We know some of them have to be virtual. A lot of things are starting to be in person. So shout out to all the leaders and the folks that are participating, because it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
You're right. It's a time commitment. So you got to find a way to use it as a way to grow yourself. Like, I'm flattered that I get to see other great leaders and learn from them on how to be a better leader, and, continue your education and grow your relationships. It ends up being fun.
Yeah. Before we close, I'm thinking about, I've had a few different conversations around this Father's Day piece, and just, sort of reflecting on my own childhood and sort of all the larger list of things I need to do better today as a dad. When you think about your time as a child, now as raising your own family, what are a couple of things that you're most proud about, James?
Well, Father's Day makes me first and foremost think of my own father. And I'm really proud of my father and all the life lessons that he instilled in me and still does instill in me and mentor me. And I really want to let him know how meaningful that was for who I am. I would say that he's 90% of what created all of my good habits and who I am. And I think that once I think about that, then I reflect and say, wait a minute, I probably have that much influence over my children too. And what an important role and responsibility I have. And how can I instill all of the amazing things my father instilled in me, but also adjust and, tailor the best way to raise your kids. And not, I think back in the day, some of the styles were a little more forceful. And now I'm more letting my kids find their own way instead of directing what I think may be best for them.
That's a comment that's a theme that's come up. It's just the way that we communicate with our children versus maybe, our parents communicate with us, and definitely grandparents, and there's this very old school way of it. When you think about the amount of information that the kids are exposed to these days, the amount of information that we're exposed to, we're obligated, and I feel, to do better because we know better, right? There are some things that, we just we didn't understand. Our parents didn't necessarily understand. Now we are seeing some of the impact of some of the blind spots that they had, and we got to do better, right? I mean, we owe it to our families.
I feel that weight on the shoulders more than just about anyone. And the reason why is James McGregor Reid the First came from Scotland to America on the boat and essentially had nothing. And, then James the Second improved things. My dad, the third, improved things. And then I'm trying to improve things. And now my son, it has that pressure on him. And all of the family members in Scotland are basically only following the name because it's the same. My son, James McGregor Reid the Fifth, they're just following because it's easy. And you want to make sure each generation is, has a better foundation than the last, and it's, constant improvement.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And from my vantage point, I think you're setting an amazing example, and I appreciate you kind of joining and sharing, some of this, personal side of yourself with me and the audience. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you at future events. And also, hearing your personal side is what distinguishes us from being a commodity. And I really think that if companies focus and families focus on relationships first, a lot of good things will happen.
That's right. And I'll put my bid in now that I got to have you back. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the leadership piece and all that. But I wanted to make sure I highlighted some outstanding fathers and make sure we bring attention to, pat ourselves on the back a little bit, right? This time of year, at least once a year, right?
Yeah, I'll take it. Any reason to celebrate, I'm in, and happy early Father's Day to you as well.
Yeah, thank you. So on behalf of James, I am Baxter E. For folks listening or watching, I just want everyone to know that you are all capable. You just have to embrace your own frequency. And thanks again, James. Until next time, peace.
Until next time.
Welcome into his brain, welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk, come be at peace with me.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, please subscribe, share, and also hit that notification button as well. Thank you so much.
Financial literacy to authentic Black history, this real rap.